Alright, so the first thing we'll look at is the immigration policy. Basically, immigration policy refers to, the the country's decisions in allowing what kind of people actually come into the country. Singapore has always been, I guess, flexible in allowing people in, for a lot of reasons, mainly economic. Particularly in the view that Singapore is a big trading port, as well as quite a lot of product and goods flow through our country. Okay, now push factors. What are push factors? When push factors describe things that discourage people from things that actually encourage them to leave their source destination, let's say their original country. So this might be wars in other parts of the world. Pull factors, on the other hand, are things that attract people in. So economic opportunities, trade. Singapore's position as a center of commerce in the 18th and 19th century was one of the pull factors that encouraged people to come in. Okay, Singapore wasn't just a mere fishing village in the past. It was quite a rich and well-off trading port. So people do want to come here and work. It does provide them the opportunity, right? So you watch the video on your own time. I'll leave the link in the description down below. Okay, so after independence, our needs changed. The focus of independence at that time was to make sure that Singapore has an economic base to survive. It was really survival mode. So in order to make our country viable, we have to grow our economy at a very fast rate. And one of the ways which was prescribed to us was to introduce labor intensive industries. So you can see point number 3 there, the setting up of Jurong Industrial Estate to facilitate the growth of an industrial base to make sure that there's some production going to sell, as well as the building of labor intensive industries. With labor intensive industries, I think you guys can understand that you need a large amount of people. Now, Singapore's population at that time was quite small, or not big enough to support such a labor intensive industries. So what do? They encourage people to come in and work, albeit not permanently, but still encourage people to come in and work in the factories, produce product to make sure that our economy grows fast in a short time. So the focus was on fast economic growth, and that's why they allowed people to come in and work. In 1970s to 1980s, there was a shift from labor intensive to capital intensive industries, which is more knowledge driven, machine driven, as well as very hands-on, small driven. The demand for workers increased because there's more opportunities and it's higher pay. Work permits was issued. Alright, foreign workers were then allowed to work in Singapore but not allowed to stay permanently and set up families, and they were needed in construction sites, shipyards, as well as factories. I think this trend is still going on today. So something for you to take note there. But in 1980s and 1990s, Singapore faced a brain drain as well as declining population due to low birth rates, particularly because of the stop at 2 policy. If you don't know what a stop at 2 policy is, it is a birth policy where parents are not allowed to have more than 2 babies. If you have more than 2 babies, then you will be penalized by the state. Right? Professionals were migrating overseas as it's easier to find work overseas as compared to Singapore at that time. Since Singaporeans are English speaking, even at that time, they can get employment overseas, even at better pay and better living conditions, I guess. Singapore then reviewed its immigration policy, which applies even today. Because of the brain drain, people going out, the Singapore government had to encourage people to come in to replace people going out. Alright. So how do they do it? Now, this picture is actually in page 136. Okay, you can find it inside page 136. It's a process of how we screen, so-called, a foreign worker to come into Singapore to actually work. So before they can even come to Singapore, they have to search for available positions online, go to an interview process, submit a resume, and only when their job is accepted that they can apply for a work visa. And once it is approved, they can then come to the country and relocate here. So this is the 8 steps towards working in Singapore. At least theoretically, this is how it works, right? And yeah, it's how they manage our numbers. Okay, Now, currently, policy focuses on higher skilled foreign workforce to support a knowledge-based economy. What do I mean by higher skilled foreign workforce? I'm not talking about uh, manual labor, manual workers. Of course, straightforward for construction side, for shipyard side, we do need manual laborers for there. But the policy here focuses on people like managers, talents who can draw. Say LucasArts has a studio here, Ubisoft has a studio here for animators. Okay, so foreign talents to come in who has a certain skill that can value add towards the knowledge-based economy. So that's how the immigration policy is tailored. Alright, I got some stories about oil rigs. I think maybe I can tell you about my father-in-law who works in an oil rig. He works with a multitude of nationalities. Sometimes he works with a German, he works with an international who actually manages the oil rigs in Jurong Island. Okay, so yeah, we do need a mix of local and foreign manpower to actually excuse me, manage the oil rig. Same with nursing. It's not exactly a popular job. It's very tiring. It's shift work, but that's also one of the reasons why we do see lots of foreigners who join the nursing service. All right, and in the IT support side, you do find a lot of foreign workers there as well. In particular, I guess from the Philippines as well as India. They do come here. They do actually provide the skills necessary for IT support. Okay.